Are you a serial killer, but your killing gear just doesn't quite do the deed? Did you have to chase down that last victim and bludgeon them with a fireplace poker instead of blissfully stabbing them in the back with your hunting knife like you had planned? All because you tied them up with some discount twine? Well, your days of botched strangulations and jagged amputations are over. With the Serial Killer Utility Kit, you'll get your zip ties, your mask, your fake fingertips, your hunting knife, your electric saw, and your axe, all in one discreet canvas bag. Go to serialkillerutility.com and enter code MURDERMENOW, and you'll get 2 of these for the price of 1. Serial Killer Utility Kits, because we know you need to kill.
All in one, easy to find duffel.
2 for 1, that's a good deal.
I can brag your favorite podcast. Let's start this thing. Woo!
Hey everybody, welcome back to Bev's Video Kingdom. Nick, Nate, Zach, and Brad here. This is part 2 of our Zodiac pod. We're going to do a draft here for you guys. We've got memorable or best or awesomest or
most stabby,
killingest, stabbiest.
Can we be specific here? Because my list is going to change dramatically based on which modifier you choose.
Okay, so
I thought
so
it
that
changes
was my,
on the judge. I thought your picks change upon the judge.
That remains to be.
I was going with stabtastic. That was kind of my
the most stabtastic.
Stabtastic serial killer.
If we're going stabby, then. So yeah, if you just a reminder that if you didn't listen to our wise and thoughtful analysis in part 1, go ahead and head back there now, and we'll wait.
It'll make a lot more sense if you do it that way. It's not like we do the draft first and then the podcast second.
Does not happen that way.
So I had several issues with our draft today. It was never really super discussed what the specific parameters were going to be, and I was thinking about it.
Who picked and specified this?
I did.
Oh, it was you.
I did.
Okay,
but all I specified was that we were going to go serial killer, and then I made a joke about maybe we could figure out how many people you actually have to kill in order to be a serial killer.
So it's 3 or more.
So
according to who? The FBI,
Google.
The Goog. Okay,
is that what the Google says?
That's definitive. Yeah.
Okay. So Watson says it's 3 or more, but what I'm going with here is I decided that I wasn't going to text you guys and try and narrow it down because I thought it would be funnier if we could argue over it live. And I was just thinking, like when, somebody inevitably picks like, I don't know, a Muppet or somebody. And then we'll decide, whether or not Brad's taking Voldemort 1 of 1. I know that already.
100% Pixar serial killer going in the first round.
First 2 rounds.
What? So I'm for that. I there's nothing funnier than adults arguing about things that are completely arbitrary. So let's do this.
100%. So what I'm thinking is we're going to kick it over to Brad. He's going to give us an order here, and then we're just going to dive right in and just argue our way out of it.
I think that's the right way to do it.
I think so too.
Yeah. So our random, this time I actually got out my old television and I plugged it in and I put it through a little draft simulation to see what the order is. And it came up with Nate is the first pick here. Nate is the first pick.
You're sure it's not doing it based on who's won the most? Just to clarify.
So.
Okay.
Nick, you got second pick. I'm going third. And Zach, you're going to get your 2 in a row, baby.
I'm actually excited about that. I think that's the right place to be in this pod because although I think the 1 of 1 is very clear, I think after that it gets murky real quick.
Well, I've got a feeling out of the folks that we're choosing, like you have probably seen all of the movies, and I think that on this side of the table, there's going to be a lot of us that have not seen some of these movies that we're choosing.
So I unfortunately placed a bunch of parameters on myself, and I decided I'm not going anything.
You only are going TV shows.
I'm not going super, just all TV shows. I'm not going any like obscure horror movies, and I'm also not going supernatural. You guys can do what you want to do.
I debated the supernatural. I don't know if I'm going to self-regulate that way.
Exactly.
Do we want to agree not to go supernatural?
No, we leave it open.
I think we can.
Right.
I want to be able to call bullshit on your when you pick, as my son says, Freddy Cougar.
I just want to say, do you feel a lot of pressure for this one? Do you feel like this is your moment to shine?
No, not at all, because I know that I'm going to lose. And as I picked my picks, as I picked my guys, I was like, this is a losing crew.
I like how Zach was like, so I put the limit on myself that I wasn't going to go foreign. Like that was going to win him. Like he was handicapping himself. Yeah, that was definitely the thing that was going to get you the win here this week, Zach. Too bad you did that.
Like his Dutch closet thrillers, his Dutch closet thrillers.
Exactly.
What
did he text us the other night? I'm currently down a Korean horror film rabbit hole. And I was like, there's a rabbit hole deep enough to be a hole in Korean horror films?
Korea is dominating the horror game lately.
They're big time horror.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I'm not, nothing is, this shows my ignorance about horror films. All right, let's do this. Nate's
going to start us off here. I'm very curious to see where you go with the first pick because, as I said,
you said there's an easy 101, and I think there is an easy 101 here, but I don't think it's as easy as you think it is, and I think there are plenty of arguments.
Easy.
Okay, it's clearly Hannibal Lecter at number one. I'll admit, but I thought hard about this, especially if you go supernatural.
I think that is the clear number one, just for its prominence in the cultural zeitgeist of the time and even to today.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm staying in the same movie, Buffalo Bill,
dude,
played by Ted Levine.
Okay, so that's an insane.
I had him on my
pick.
list. I did not have him at number 2 overall, so I love that.
Huge.
I love that reach.
Some of the greatest, some great quotes from that one, though.
I mean, I say put the lotion in the basket like every time it's appropriate, which in my world is like once a week.
There's a lot of times when you can tell someone to put the lotion on its skin.
All right. Well, those two out of the way.
So that was Nick taking Buffalo Bill.
It's wide open for you, Brad.
It is so wide open, and I think I'm going to go here. I mean, now this is going to be the first controversial moment, which is fine with me. I'm going to go with Mickey and Mallory Knox.
Nice.
Does that count as a couple?
So I had just wait, we're talking Natural Born Killers?
Yes.
Yeah. I had just Woody Harrelson, but I'll take both. I think that's
I'll allow both.
I'll allow it, although I did have them both separately, but I will allow it.
All right, so there we go. Mickey, Mallory Knox.
How about this though? We instruct the judges that they you don't get it cumulatively. You choose your favorite of the two, and that's your pick.
What do you mean?
Well, like they don't get to be like, well, that's a 2-for-1. Like they get to, so you get to pick the pair, but they've got to effectively count it as like their favorite of those two is what you get for them.
It's the same difference for me.
I think it's like Jay and Silent Bob with
right.
Best Drug Dealers. Like they're just kind of a combo pair.
I think we
allow that?
I think we tell them we're grouping these together and we're splitting Hannibal and Buffalo Bill. Same movie, two different serial killers.
That's fine. If I lose, it's under protest.
It's just
Setting up your protest. I like it, Nate. Setting up the loss.
Let's just remember this.
Baby.
When I want to pick two different serial killers from two different movies. All right. So, on the wrap, I am going to go with I don't think he's my one of one, but I didn't think he was going to get to me, and that's going to be Christian Bale as Patrick Bateman in American Psycho.
So this was, I thought there's a case to be made for 101 there.
I agree, but I think that just everything that comes along with Silence of the Lambs and the success of the movie and all of that stuff, I think that's definitely the first pick. I think
Bateman might not even be a serial killer.
I want to raise this issue. Yeah, is he in fact a serial killer? Did he kill 3 people? We don't know.
Man, we would have to go to the lost Bev's Video Kingdom files somewhere out in the internet.
Yeah,
going to that black hole.
So this is where it gets tough, guys, because at the same time as I want to pick my picks, I'm also trying to play the game to where I'm thinking, like, is this guy going to get back to me? You know, much like a fantasy football draft.
Paxton will get back to you.
He's on my list, but I am going to go in true Fincher fashion. We're going to go Kevin Spacey as John Doe in 7 with my second pick.
That's all of a sudden Zach's looking pretty strong here. This is an unusually good start for Zach.
You had a great start.
It's about to go off the rails real quick.
Okay, Nikki.
All right, so
No, it's Brad.
yeah.
Brad.
All right, so since John Doe was a very creative serial killer, I think I'm going to go with maybe the second most creative serial killer, and I'm going to go ahead and take Jigsaw from the Saw movies. And although that's kind of a combination of, I'm talking about the original dude.
Okay, are we talking the first Saw movie?
Yes.
Unreal movie.
There we go.
I love it. Blew my mind when I first saw the original Saw in the theater.
Is this the one where they make him play games in a basement?
Okay, so that would be like Saw 2 or Saw 3.
That wasn't like Hostel.
No, Hostel is just some people that go to a hostel and then get their organs. They get tortured.
My wife was trying to remember. I think what must have been Saw 2.
Saw is Carrie Ellis chained to a pipe, and there's a dead body with him, and he has to figure out how to get out of the room.
I'm in.
Dude, have you seen it?
No, is that a serious question? Yeah, man, I watch it that's how I go to sleep every night.
It's really very good. I think it's one of the great twists.
Does he wear his Robin Hood tights?
Super
Yes. He's got the tights on.
All right,
He's got
Nikki.
the hat.
He's like, and if I'm wrong, and I'm never wrong.
All right, I'm going. I don't know if that's East Texas, Southern Texas, Fields, Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Great pick.
Dude, we almost just got beer all over the studio.
Nick's fault.
There was a save.
He's angry about the Niners 1 point loss that happened 8 seconds ago. If you're noticing
I'm still recovering.
If you're noticing a really sad tone to the podcast so far, it's because we just watched the Niners lose.
As is kind of a running theme on this show is that my dad had me watch the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre probably I was 11 or 12, and
Jesus,
man. That was a hardcore movie to watch. It's pretty down and dirty.
Is that when you first developed a crush on Jessica Biel?
Wait,
I'm joking.
We all kind of looked at Zach like, what?
We all tilted our heads.
So yeah, Leatherface, and then of course Summer School. All the references to Texas Chainsaw Massacre's classic.
Oh, that I now understand why.
Yeah.
It's required viewing for Summer School fans.
I think I blocked Brad's third pick. I'm pretty proud of myself.
Yes, you did.
All right. Wait, did you just take you just took one?
I just took leather. Yeah.
You got a rap
You
here.
took Leatherface. Okay. On the rap. This is a toughie.
I have a feeling the picks are about to go off the rails.
I'm going to go with my second pick. Got to go with Ghostface from Scream. 2 people, 1 killer.
Who was Modesto's own? Isn't he the killer?
No.
Oliphant?
Oliphant's not the killer
It's
in
not
Scream 1?
Oliphant. No, it's is it Jamie Kennedy? No, it's
No.
It's the Matthew Lillard.
Yeah,
and
Matthew Lillard, yeah.
Then whoever the dude was that
Yeah.
all the girls liked.
Lillard. Okay. And then for my number 3, I'm taking Aileen Wuornos, played by Charlize Theron in Monster,
So,
damn.
so the wife and I.
which I think she won the Academy Award for.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Does anybody have a proper spelling of her name?
No,
I will find out on the Goog.
it's Australian, so it's tough to spell. But
Wait, am I looking for Aileen Wuornos, or am I looking for Charlize?
so
No, the character name.
It's AILEEN space WUORNOS.
I'm gonna laugh if her name's pronounced Eileen, and Nate's actually never seen the movie, and he's like, Aileen.
guaranteed. He's
I've never seen the
it.
movie. Was that supposed to be a secret?
So we recently watched a documentary on Aileen and went into her background and stuff. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Crazy lady, as evidenced by her presence on this list.
It's a rare quality for a serial killer. All right.
Okay.
Is it Nikki? You're thinking hard over there.
Boy. Okay, so usually Brad is the one to go all things stuffed in marionettes. However, I'm gonna take that for this draft. I'm going Chucky from Child's Play.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, I did not have that on my list, but it's a really good one.
When you add possessed dolls to the
Was that
to the pool of players, I mean, shit.
Did you limit
Memorable
yourself to
serial
not child's
killer.
toys?
Memorable movie, serial killer. Chucky killed more than 3 people.
Definitely.
It
Definitely.
works. It 100% works.
And it's a stabtastic. This is a stabtastic pod. So
Feeling stabby.
Spawned a bunch of sequels. There's a Lady Chucky, Bride of Chucky, I believe.
Bride of Chucky.
Just came out with a really terrible remake, redo of it that had like the girl from 50 Shades of Grey in it or something. It's bad.
Surprised it was bad.
All right, I got like 3 to go with here, but I think I'm gonna go with this could be a winner here. I'm gonna go with one of the originals, the OGs. The read.
That was my next pick.
We're going Norman Bates.
Okay, so here's a question.
Psycho.
This is why I debated this. Did Norman Bates kill 3 people? We know that he killed his mom, and we know he killed the chick in the shower. Did
I think
kill
he
3
had been doing that, right? I think he
Yeah.
had been.
I think
he was
you-
the owner of the hotel, and that was how.
Do we
he
have any
killed
evidence
people.
of this?
Yeah, he killed.
Well,
lots of
if you watch,
Okay, thanks for that objective opinion.
I think there was a series where I don't think you get 12 episodes if he doesn't kill some more people.
I'm pretty sure that we're limited to the movie here, Mr. TV.
I'm going to give Brad the points on it because it was going to be my next pick, and so I'm with Brad. On
Me
it.
too. It was gonna be my next.
Double under protest.
Nate,
Okay.
see, Nate knows he's losing right now, so he's just like, man, I got to figure out how to just protest everything.
He's just chucking up for the pass interference right now.
Brad's 3 picks in, and he has 4 people and 1 non-serial killer on his list. I'm just want to go on record here.
Nick just picked a fucking possessed doll, so I mean, I'm not sure.
buddy.
I'm not sure exactly where we're going here.
All right, who's up?
Well, now I have a question for you, gentlemen.
Oh.
Probably should have been discussed maybe before or off the air. How many rounds are we going here? Because I've made 2
4.
picks.
It's our standard.
It's a 4?
rounder. Yeah,
Okay.
not like our coaches pod where there were 75 coaches on every one of our lists.
You're bitching, and you won.
So I'm gonna. I want to call out people that I'm leaving off my list now, since these are my last 2 picks, right?
No,
No, I'm not going to, but I'm saying I want to explain.
oh yeah,
kinda
these are
where
your
I'm
last
going
2.
here.
Yeah.
So
That would be funny if you did, though. There's all of these people that you all could pick, and I'm taking these.
I tried to really stick to non-supernatural serial killers that
Do you want
kind
a
of
fucking
fit the
brownie
serial
button
killer.
or
No,
what,
I'm just
dude?
saying. I'm
Want
just
a
saying. Like,
badge?
there's a lot of picks. You know, like my wife was saying Michael Myers and like all these different guys. But I'm gonna go Kevin Costner as Mr. Brooks in Mr. Brooks. And I don't know if any of you guys have seen that movie.
I have not ever heard of it.
Are you serious? Nate.
No, yes, I'm serious.
It's very
No,
good.
I've not heard it.
It's very, very good.
Okay.
And on the wrap, I'm going to go with one I know none of you guys have seen, but I'm picking it so that if one person out there in the audience goes and sees this movie, we will be excited. And we're going Mark Duplass in Creep or Creep 2.
Ooh, so I've been kind of thinking about seeing that because I like, is it Duplass? Is that how you pronounce it? So I
that the
love
character
Mark
or is that the
Duplass.
actor?
I
He's
don't
the
even
act-
know the
He's the
character.
actor.
I don't even know if
I mean,
they
yeah,
tell
he's
you
the
his
actor.
actual name.
Okay, all good.
Let me.
But
I'll consult.
wrote-
I'm.
Directed and starred in Creep 1, and then they made a Creep 2, and it is dark but not insanely dark. It has a little bit of the dark comedy that, because Duplass is a comedy guy, really. And man, it's good. I don't think he kills 3 people, but I'm picking it. I'm sticking with it. If Nick gets to
Throw
pick
all the rules out the window.
Possess My Buddy, I'm going to pick Mark Duplass from Creep.
A possessed serial killer, my buddy.
So what I'm thinking is...
Per the parameters.
So I'm just going to pick Jennifer Love Hewitt's character from Can't Hardly Wait and be like, she probably killed people later.
well, she could...
may or may not have.
I'm going to take the entire cast of Shawshank Redemption because they probably collectively killed 3 people.
Wow.
You go... Yeah, I won't.
Okay, by the way, Mark Duplass is apparently, is it Joseph or Joseph? It's Josef.
I think it's definitely Joseph.
Soft J.
It's Josepe.
Yay. Okay, so there you go.
All right, my next pick, I was going to go one way, but I decided against it. And so You gotta love a serial killer that is also just a 100% badass and 100% just a schmoozer. Take some girls in the bar, talk them up a little bit, offer them a ride home, and then go ahead and wreck their shit in his basically indestructible car. I'm gonna go with Stuntman Mike.
Oh,
Stuntman Mike from the amazing Grindhouse kind of a takeoff Death Proof. Tarantino.
not mad at it.
All right, so it's me. So I'm going anti-pander after Nate's last couple of drafts.
You got any more dolls or
No,
puppets?
I'm going to round it out nicely, and none of you are going to see this one coming.
Leprechaun.
So this was, you can see this as the forming and the origin story of a serial killer. Matt Damon as Tom Ripley.
Oh, Nick,
he
that didn't
kill
even make
3
my
people?
list.
Talented Mr. Ripley. It ends with him killing his third.
Under the wire.
All can suck it.
I think that
Just like Crosby hit that field goal just under the wire.
And you knew that he was going to keep killing.
I think if you hadn't picked a child's toy with your third pick, you might have just locked it up.
No, I did
Too bad.
diversify nicely.
So here's with the final pick of the draft, there's some obvious supernatural killers here. Is he supernatural? He's not. Jeez. You left a lot on the table. Let's just go with that. I'm going with one that is actually a movie I've seen.
Wait until the fourth pick to pick one you've seen.
I'm going to go with Shigur in No Country for Old Men.
Oh wow. Nice.
Assassin.
Bardem.
Not a he's a mercenary
Sicario.
assassin. He's not a serial killer.
He's
He kills
killing
a
for
bunch of people.
but he's killing for money and for the cartel, not
loves
for.
it.
He's
He
an
flips
assassin.
a
love
coin
of
and kills
watching
people.
people stop
But he
breathing.
doesn't just show up on random people. Serial killer, you're killing essentially random folks.
He almost killed the guy in the store. All right, fine.
Not
That's all right.
You've
I'm
been
going to pick the other.
overruled.
I'm going to pick the other one, and it's going to win it for me. I will take Freddy Krueger, just like
Freddy Cougar.
Freddy Krueger Mellencamp, just like
Freddy Cougar.
old Hunter suggested.
It was Jackson, and I was asking my wife. I said, "Who are some other serial killers in movies?" And
Jackson
goes, "What about Freddy Cougar?"
Jackson Zach's awesome son. Yeah, so Freddy Krueger Mellencamp for my final pick.
I like that. Little Diddy.
Also Rands.
Oh man, there's a
Also
lot here.
Rands.
So is De Niro in Taxi Driver a serial killer?
I tried to Google. I was like,
I couldn't get an answer.
I mean,
to it.
I don't think you call him the base. I've never seen Taxi Driver. Yes, I know this is a problem, but the description of the plot did not imply he was any more of a serial killer than Sugar.
I don't think he kills. Well,
Shigur.
so the difference between those two is that the guy in Taxi Driver is just a crazy person that.
Yeah, but doesn't he show up and like kill some people with some intention? Like he's not like just randomly selecting.
Right, but there's a difference between the intention of killing people and the intention of killing people because someone's paying you to do it, right?
I mean, I guess.
I guess it's
All right.
That's a close one. I knew where you're. I see where you're.
He certainly makes that movie makes a lot of
Stone Cold
lists
killer.
of
I mean-
of serial killer movies.
Paxton.
He wasn't getting paid to kill the wife.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? He wasn't getting
that's
paid
fair.
to.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the others, the Jasons, the Michael Myers, Pinhead, all the kind of the horror movie
Yeah,
staples.
Jason Voorhees was one I almost picked.
Wanted
We're
to stay
gonna
away from
get
this.
some shit for not having
Well, no,
old
because
Michael Myers and
If
Jason.
it was, I don't know. Like, what do you call those guys? Like, I should know this. What do you call like the horror movie bad guy?
Like the leprechaun. I mean, it's like they're just
Right.
like evil creatures almost. They're more like creatures rather than like serial killers, like in the more like literal sense.
Like Freddy Krueger Mellencamp. Okay, so I got Voorhees. The obvious one that we didn't pick was, and I don't know how Nick let this slide all the way through, but the Zodiac Killer. Maybe it's because we don't know who the because there's no particular
also like
character
the fact that
in
it's
Zodiac.
a real life story. I feel like everything that we picked
Yeah.
pretty much is all fiction.
So I had Ted Bundy down at the Zac Efron version from the movie, the Netflix movie, which I liked. And
You
thought-
liked the movie though?
I kind of liked it. It was cool.
I didn't
But I
see
mean, dude, I mean, we will say just about anything on this pod, and I would feel embarrassed to horrified to recount any of the shit, like the stuff that he did to victims.
Oh.
Yeah, it's supposed
Oh,
I thought you were going to say you would be embarrassed if we moved on from Zac Efron without mentioning how beautiful of a man he is.
Zac Efron is an absolute gorgeous man. He's gorgeous. He's charismatic. We could talk about him all night, but let's just move on.
We missed from the whole Silence of the Realms universe from Manhunter.
Yeah.
The original
Tooth Fairy.
Tooth Fairy, Francis Dollarhide. That's a legit scary, creepy ass dude. Like, I mean, Buffalo Bill, I understand why he went first round, but to the Tooth Fairy is just way stranger. And the final scene with Inagata-Vita is just is wild.
Agreed.
I know Zach's dying to talk about Frailty and the McConaughey.
No, I would go Paxton as
really?
just kind of.
I ask again, did he kill 3 people?
He kills. Yeah.
Okay.
If anybody, the brother's the actual serial killer because he just randomly kills people. He doesn't feel like he's got a purpose. He just kills
Well, I
people.
guess you're right. 'Cause his intention was that he was killing people for God, but also because he's a crazy person.
Yeah.
You know, I had was Stanley Tucci's character in The Lovely Bones.
Yeah, I had that one on the list too. Yeah,
That's a creepy.
Yeah,
Is that a Wahlberg movie? I have not seen that.
Wahlberg. It's based on a book. I think the book was supposed to got a lot. I
Really
think
good,
was
yeah.
supposed to be
Kid
great.
dies and goes to heaven or something.
and helps guide the
Right.
Mark Wahlberg's daughter.
He talks to
yeah.
Wahlberg, and Wahlberg's like, "Hey,
Wahlberg's daughter dies.
I think I hear a voice."
Richie Gecko from Dusk Till Dawn. Seth Gecko, after he kills the old woman that he brings into his
God.
Yeah, brings in like their little
Oh my gosh.
motel room.
And the flash of like
Yeah.
the bed.
And so like he's kind of like telling him you can't keep doing this. So obviously I think Richie Gecko is some type of a serial killer.
That's a good call.
So did you ever see a movie called Copycat from the 90s with Sigourney Weaver?
Harry Connick.
Harry Connick, yeah. So that's a great.
He was really good.
He's really good. I remember really liking that one. That one wasn't overly, sort of suspense, but not super scary. Mm-hmm. There's a few other good ones.
Had
but,
Candyman.
Oh yeah, the Candyman. That's a pretty good list.
I think it's a good list. I think that this is going to be one that we're going to post online, and there's going to be 1,000
a lot of
people that we
people.
didn't think of.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean definitely not in my wheelhouse as far as a category. I mean I've seen some of these, but definitely not.
Well, so what I found was like I think there's a big difference between serial killers and serial killer movies, and a lot of movies, the ones we're not going to think of are going to be like, oh yeah, like there was a serial killer as part of that movie, but it was really kind of like a cop movie, or it was really
Going to be every
a romantic comedy
procedural
or
crime drama from like 1990 to
Right.
2005 that is starring who's the girl with the short hair that stars in all those movies? That's just super beautiful, short dark hair. This is good pod right here.
In all what movies?
Every movie about a serial killer. Oh my god.
all right. Yeah, there's a killer. Oh, there was. Are you thinking of the one that's in? You're thinking of Ashley Judd.
Ashley Judd.
Yeah,
That's exactly
because
who
you're
I'm
thinking of
thinking.
Bone Collector and all that kind of stuff.
But it's and then there's a
Kiss the Girls.
Kiss
I'm
the
pretty
Girls,
sure.
something about a spider. There's a
Along
spider.
Came a Spider. There's
Wait,
one
was she in Bone Collector? Am I wrong?
Oh, no, that's
Diane
someone-
Lane was, I think, Along Came a Spider.
Okay. Yeah, so there's some good ones there that we didn't grab, and those also don't feel quite as much like a straight up serial killer movie.
A Perfect Murder. I think she's in
Double Jeopardy.
Double Jeopardy. That's what
Double
I'm thinking of,
Jeopardy.
Nick.
Yeah, that's solid.
I remember seeing a movie in the theater. I think it was called Jennifer 8, where like somebody was killing Jennifer.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
That was with Uma.
Yeah, we're gonna miss a bunch. So yeah, so please,
Yeah.
feel free to just absolutely humiliate us with our.
And I think our judges they'll have some insight. They'll definitely bring.
Well, I'll
some
be
ones
curious
up that
what
we have not
where
had.
they go.
Yeah.
They might
Yeah.
go. They might go the Jasons, Freddys, and
They're definitely going.
And the Chuckies.
Chuckies, yeah, for sure.
All right. Okay, so we there? We home?
Hey, we'll see you guys back when the judges get here, huh?
All right, folks, it's time for our draft judging. And you listeners are very lucky that we have some awesome podcasters. They are fellow podcasters. They are the hosts of the podcast California True Crime, available on all of your great podcast formats. And this is Jessica and Chuck. Welcome to the BVK podcast.
Hi, thank you for having us.
Hello, I am very excited to be here.
Could we say that you guys are real podcasters? I think we could say real podcasters.
They're
at this
serious.
point. Yeah.
They're serious people.
No, I wouldn't say real at all. We're we're all real podcasters.
So I want to make two notes here. One, while it is common among the podcast community to cross fertilize, Chuck and Jess are longtime friends of Brad's wife, and then Brad, and then me. This is Nate speaking. And Chuck and I share, as a second point, a very special connection. I was
just thinking about that.
Is there still a Facebook group that you have established that we're all the only members of, the White and Creamy Soul Brothers?
I think it actually still is there. I think we are also the only two members of it.
We both of it. We discovered that we both hate mayo and all things that are sort of derivative of mayo or related. So, like sour cream, for example.
It's funny that no one wants to join a Facebook group called Creamy White Soul Brothers.
There is a notification that would go out to everyone in your friend group that would be like, Zach likes White and Creamy Soul Brothers.
There might be some questions, a few questions.
Also sounds like a movie that might be behind the curtain at the old Bev's Video Kingdom.
I think I've seen that movie. It's a Swedish documentary. It doesn't end well.
Part 3 was way better.
Yeah. So yeah, welcome to the pod, and thanks for coming on.
So the nice thing about having some guests here who have an awesome true crime podcast is that they recently did a 4-part episode, a 4-part series about a crime that took place well before our time, but in the town that we grew up in. So they have just recently done a 4-part series. And could you guys tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, we covered a bank robbery actually in Houston, California, as well as a murder of a sheriff's deputy.
From listening to the podcast, you guys did a lot of research. You guys actually traveled around Houston, and it was interesting as somebody from the town of Houston. It was kind of cool to hear about knowing the locations, Main Street.
Yeah, we were really lucky to visit your historical society. They really welcomed us and showed us the bank vault and all of the newspapers that they had, and it was really fun to go over there and actually see the location of where these things happened. And actually, it kind of cleared some stuff up in our minds. So it was good that we could tell our listeners about that.
Yeah. So the location of Bev's Video Kingdom, the namesake, the video store that the pod's named after, I think was about 2 blocks down from the bank that was robbed.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
yeah, the main streets where all the action happened in Houston, California.
So Nick, didn't you say you had you were talking to some people that actually knew the deal?
So yeah, over the weekend, talked to my mother and father-in-law, and grew up in Houston. They remember it. They had acquaintances and friends that father-in-law was a sheriff, and so I knew I think of the sheriff. It was before he became a sheriff himself, but growing up in the town, it was a big deal. And then my dad talked to him today because he's also just a big crime junkie, serial killer, like researching and into Zodiac, loves the Zodiac story and all that, and talked to him about it, and he just told me his story. He remembers the day, what he was doing. He was at the elementary school in like a basketball game, and he remembers being told what happened. They shut down the school. So just talking to him about it, and they were like, yeah, they remember, and it was people that and then you learn about parents and grandparents or aunts of people that we know and that are like our age that were involved in it, and I think even in the bank. So just, I mean, it's kind of what comes with a small town, right? But really interesting. I had no idea about it until your guys' podcast. So just super enlightening, and I can't wait to listen to every part of it.
Not to spoil any part of it if you haven't already listened to it, but if anybody can tell us anything more about the monkey that on Main Street, that one of the people that lived close to Main Street had as a pet, we'd be very much appreciative.
Oh, this is true. It was one of the best parts of this podcast was when they talked about the fact that somebody was walking on Main Street with a monkey, a pet monkey, and the pet monkey found a casing of a bullet and was trying to eat it, and that became evidence for this whole murder.
Holy shit!
Somebody in Houston had a monkey.
All right.
I'm going to ask about the monkey.
We're committed to figuring out who the monkey owner is.
Wow.
And weirdly enough, it's surprising how many times we're researching where people's pet monkeys come up. It's no joke.
I think if you're
my lovely wife here has an entire file of monkey related cases and news stories that we're collecting.
Oh, that's
I think if you're a person with a pet monkey, you try and work that into a lot of conversations. I think
100%.
My sister Amy is a huge monkey fan, and when she gets to this part of the episode, she's just going to be tickled pink.
All right, so we're talking about the movie Zodiac, and of course, that's one of the most infamous California crime cases of all time. I mean, actually, more than California. I mean, it's one of the biggest national cases of all time. So, what's your guys' take on the whole Zodiac crime? And do you guys know any insights or especially recent developments as far as the case goes?
The biggest recent development is the cipher that was broken last year. One of the last remaining ciphers. That's giant surprise. Doesn't say anything more than I think everyone already had looked at. I think we've talked a lot about, actually, since we watched the movie today, but we've been talking a lot about how much of the letters are actually connected to the killings, and more taking credit for things that to get himself in the public eye, keep himself in the public eye.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, I think that's a huge point of contention between law enforcement and people researching and Reddit communities and stuff like that. How much of this stuff is he just taking credit for, and how much is he responsible for? Was he responsible for any of it? There's really not a lot of answers out there, unfortunately.
No, and I think now I know there was the recent documentary. I think you can see it on Hulu, where the main focus of the documentary is the person saying that his father was Zodiac. And I think as time goes on, it becomes more mythologized, and you see more and more things coming out of the woodwork that have no connection to anything. It's the same thing that you kind of see with Jack the Ripper stories. There's no chance that they're ever really going to solve that. So it's almost becomes easy fodder for mythology and legend to spring up, and everybody kind of grasping at straws. The other big case that I know we've talked a lot about was the Black Dahlia murder. It seems like every 5 or 10 years a new book comes out and somebody else takes credit for it, or not taking credit for it, but has a new theory of, like, I've solved the Black Dahlia murder.
It just makes me think, like, all these killers, I mean, really what they are now is just hardcore bands can use them as their name, right? I mean, isn't that really what it comes down to?
Pretty much.
What'd you guys think of the draft? How did you check it out?
We did.
We've
been talking about it all day.
We've actually done a few
we should
drafts.
Oh, you're doing mocks.
Yeah, we did a few of those. We tried to game the system and figure out what you guys would draft, and we got most of them.
So can I ask what parameters you guys set on yourselves, because we didn't set any on ourselves. So I was the one that came up with the draft category of memorable serial killer, and then I decided on my own without discussing with anybody else that I wasn't going to pick any supernatural super killers, you know what I mean? I wasn't gonna go like horror movie, Freddy Krueger, all that kind of stuff. So it's interesting to see how you guys interpreted the draft category and how everybody here at the table interpreted it.
We did have a long conversation. My husband here really enjoys categorizing things, so it went on for a few hours of what we would consider. We also discounted supernatural or those kind of elements. We thought that was a good idea.
We also got into a discussion about classification of serial killer versus spree killer versus mass murderer.
Ooh.
So
you guys took it deeper than us.
Yes, it took hours.
Yeah. So,
that's the kind of judges we like.
So we even dived a little bit on the FBI website to see, and I think even that, having like the idea of serial killing and some of the misnomers around that title, we settled on had to be 3 or more, with some sort of cooling off period in between the kills, and no supernatural. So in our home draft, we did throw out supernatural. We did see some of them snuck on to your drafts. No judgment on that. We didn't.
What did you see that? Did you see that the 3 rule that we all established then was violated repeatedly? I'm just throwing it out.
So when you say a cooling off period in between, was that just like the killer's refractory period, or are we talking? I'm just curious how long we're talking.
It's time to get Gatorade and whatchamacallit.
Okay.
Yeah, hydrate, electrolytes. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Think about what they've done and then continue to do
Reload.
it. Yes.
Separate crimes, separate places.
And really quick before we get into that, just your thoughts on the movie, because you guys said you just watched it. I'm really curious about your guys' thoughts on Zodiac. Was it the first time that you've seen it, or second, or fourth?
12th.
All right. Yeah.
We love that movie.
Yeah.
I think in part because it feels so much like California, all the places they film.
Yeah.
That's definitely San Francisco, and it's fun to see those places and not just some random city that they're pretending is San Francisco.
Right.
It's such a beautiful movie, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we actually saw it on a date before we were married. We came home from a trip to San Francisco, and we were living in Livermore at the time, and stopped by. There was a local theater, and it had opened, so we thought, oh well, let's stop by. And I love it. I love David Fincher anyway. I will say all of his movies, with the exception of Panic Room. I wasn't a huge fan of Panic Room, but so I like that. I like Jesse said, the way everything looks like California, and I like that it's deliberate. It doesn't take the easy route. It doesn't gratuitous. There's not a lot of gratuity to the violence. It's all purposeful, and it still has one of the most disturbing scenes in any movie I've ever watched, and that's the Lake Berryessa murder.
I totally agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
Terrifying.
So
It's scary. I think that movie genuinely, it brings that. I don't know what it is about it, but it's every time I see it.
It's very
I'm on the edge of my seat.
you feel tense the whole time, even in the scenes that don't involve the killer. There's like an underlying tension throughout the whole movie that you just don't kind of get rid of.
which I think kind of really, goes along with the feeling in the public at that time, right? I mean, people were really freaked out. It was a national story, right? But people in the area were definitely freaking out.
People in the Central Valley, people in our town felt, it got as close to, as you saw, and whether that is, like you said, the mythology kind of growing, I don't think it was even proven that it was Zodiac on Highway 132, but, it made its way into the movie, and I got some, stuff with that in the pod, but I talked to my parents about it, and they were freaked out. They didn't have to be in San Francisco to feel the effects of what was going on in the Bay Area. My mom was from Cotati in Petaluma, and she was, really close to the circle of it, and they were terrified. Yeah.
Kind of the rare, building a bunch of tension with no real release or climax to the movie. There's no aha moment. They kind of insinuate who they think the killer is, but there's definitely no, oh, we caught the guy, and the young detective shot him or something along those lines.
That was I think I really like that aspect of it, and I think there are other Zodiac movies that come around and they try to tie it with a nice bow, but it really does leave you flat. That last 5 minutes of the movie, so depressing, and then you leave the theater going, holy crap. And again, in Central Valley, anywhere you drive, so if you're listening to this and not from the Central Valley of California, that's what it looks like.
Oh yeah.
The color palette, everything, and it felt like the 70s, where sometimes we see some of these period movies where it looks like a pastiche put on it, and you can still kind of like scrape your finger across and it's 2020 or whatever. But that really did feel like that that we had a window into what they were doing on a daily basis.
I'm loving that this is one of the movies that you decided to take your bride-to-be to woo her to. Right. Yeah, I love that.
It was payback for Shaun of the Dead. Actually, she Shaun of the Dead as one of. So as soon as that happened, I'm like, okay, all bets are off. I can take her to the movies I like. So.
and foreshadowing a marriage full of true crime podcasts.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's murder and mayhem is pretty much our bread and butter here.
Yeah, we were talking about that today, how Grace Smith's wife didn't really seem to enjoy that as much, but
that's
what other people do. So same page.
I hate to digress here, but I'm curious how you guys got into podcasting and true crime. Was it just, did you guys find that you had a shared love of, researching this stuff? Because it seems like a big part of what you guys doing is, we kind of get together and we make notes and we have stuff we want to talk about and some talking points, but it's not a lot of research based stuff. It seems like you guys are really
basically
digging
talking
it.
out of our asses.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's a lot of dick jokes and a lot of kind of bullshitting. But you guys are really digging into some serious stuff, interviewing people. How did you guys get into this?
Well, first off, for the record, your guys' dick jokes and talking out of your ass is quality. They really are quality dick jokes, and the ass talk is really good. So, and I will say I really like the ASMR moments.
Oh,
I got to give you some more. I have Nate eating a peach on my phone that I can listen to at work at any time. Is that the ringtone when I call you?
It is.
And and then a picture of a jar of mayo with a big circle and a slash through it. If that's the way it's going, that makes me so happy.
38 to 44-year-old white males is the ASMR's target demo. So I'm glad we got you.
Portly nerds with ASMR. So. No, actually, we got into this podcast from our other host Sean, actually at a holiday party from a mutual friend of ours, Wendy Brown, actually threw a holiday party about 3-4 years ago, and got to talking about what we were listening to, and we Sean is the Zodiac expert of the group. He's been
awesome.
Studying it since he was 16, I think.
Wow.
He's taken a stab at the ciphers and
wow.
So we started and thought, hey, it'd be a great idea. We'd start a Zodiac podcast. And
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to cut you off. I'm gonna stop and call Sean. And we're gonna kick you guys off and bring Sean.
We felt bad. He's the person you really should have here. He would, oh man. But and then we did a little research and found out that you can throw a rock and find a really good Zodiac podcast.
Oh,
Case
yeah.
Files did an amazing one. Generation Y did a really good one. So we didn't want to kind of jump into that. And then Jess, Sean, and I started talking and really got to the idea that we were going to focus on. We were tired of hearing people report about California that don't know California and mispronouncing places' names and didn't really feel like it was from home. So we
Forgetting littler places. And
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Like the Vallejo Police Department.
Yeah, exactly.
East Galleon, California.
Yeah.
All right. Well, enough a delay because can we get on with declaring me the winner and then saying which of you guys was the runner-up, or are we there yet?
I know you guys don't know who picked what team, but Nate has won three in a row.
3 in a row.
Of the last draft.
Some people are calling it a dynasty. I'm not saying that it is it. I'm just saying some people are calling it a dynasty.
Yeah, but your feelings on Bill Paxton.
On Bill, you mean? On Bill?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Bill. They're going to disqualify most of you. So,
Well, first run us through your scoring system. How did you guys tackle our draft results? How did you guys approach this to make your final decisions?
We came up with a 4-point system, or 4-category system, I guess. You just gave a single point, right?
I gave 1 point for each.
And
one
I
of the
gave a
categories.
0.0 out of 5 because I found that easier. So our first category was, is it realistic or fun? Those are the kind of categories of serial killer movies that we both like. So is it really kind of true, or does it seem true, or is it just a lot of fun? Our second one was is it scary? Our third one was pizzazz in the murders, they're cool.
Pizzazz.
Like jazz hands.
Yeah. Cool thing happening.
We just in sync. 6 people did jazz hands.
And our last category was, how do we feel about the victims the person was killing?
Wait. Do you get more points for liking the victims or more points for
Yeah.
hating the victims?
No,
Well, it depends, I guess.
Okay.
no, we got. Well, yeah, it depends on the. I personally gave more points to the people that were killing people I didn't like.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
same here.
Got it.
Same here, yeah. Were they annoying? Were they...
Did they have
Did they
it
deserve
coming,
it?
kind of a thing?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like when Chucky kills a babysitter. I like that.
Exactly.
And so, I guess we go from. Well, we did them separately. So we have a my winner and Jessica's winner.
Oh, I like that. That gives me a better chance at not getting last place.
Does that mean I'm going to win 5?
We've had
if-
that. So we got a 2-winner draft coming.
Hey, it's happened before.
It has happened before.
So real quick before we dive into it, Brad's going to run through the teams to just refresh everybody's memory here.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So we had Team 1, Hannibal Lecter, Silence of the Lambs, Ghostface from Scream, Aileen Wuornos from Monster, Freddy Krueger from Nightmare on Elm Street. Team 2 had Buffalo Bill, Silence of the Lambs, Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Chucky from Child's Play, and Tom Ripley from The Talented Mr. Ripley. 3, Mickey and Mallory Knox from Natural Born Killers, Jigsaw from Saw, Norman Bates from Psycho, and Stuntman Mike from Death Proof. And on Team 4, Patrick Bateman, American Psycho, John Doe from Seven, Mr. Brooks from Mr. Brooks, and Joseph from Creep. And there's your teams.
I believe that's Joseph.
I'm going to go on a limb and say that you guys have seen 99% of those movies, correct?
Yeah, even me, which is unusual.
Yeah, I was really excited because this was a conversation I could actually have with my wife
I
about
love it. You're
All
welcome.
right.
killer movies and
Your life so hard.
it really is. It really is. So I guess I'll start from last place to first place. Last place was Team 2, a draft 2. Sorry, Nick.
It makes me so happy.
It was Chucky, right? It was Chucky.
It makes me so happy.
It's the doll
Chucky
every
did
time.
it, right?
Zach's just celebrating that he didn't get last.
Marionette's I just didn't feel right saying it when it came out of my mouth.
He's definitely not a marionette.
Muppets never win.
Muppets
me-
never win.
For me, it really was. Chucky lost you some points, but it was Buffalo Bill and
I told you it was
Thomas
a reach.
Ripley.
Buffalo Bill, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Not that,
He can't even talk about it.
So
I
we
will
need to
say
know.
you have one of my top 30 on your list with Leatherface. He was like my second round pick in the house. So
All right, that makes me feel better. Thanks.
first runner up would be Team 1.
That's the third. That's the
Third place?
That would be third place. Third place would be Team 1.
Deservingly so.
Sounds about
Under
right.
protest.
It sounds about right.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. We gotta keep track of who.
All right,
and
let's
then
go.
and then second place for me was Team 3.
Oh my God!
Holy
Did Zach
shit,
just
you
win?
guys.
God, Zach
This
just-
is a historical
Zach
moment on the
wins.
podcast. This is a historical moment.
Where's the champagne bottle? I thought he gets to spray it everywhere.
He's standing. He leaned back in his chair and looked like Andy at the end of Shawshank Redemption, just rain falling on his face.
He's gonna have a Farva moment pretty soon.
God,
Oh, from worst to
Hey, for a
first.
guy that's scared of white creamy stuff, I just put something underneath this table that you might be scared of.
Lord. And that's your kind of ASMR
That
moment?
is your ASMR moment.
I apologize, Jess.
Somebody's gonna get an invite to the Facebook group.
Oh, boy. All right, but we do have a second winner. There's a second W up for grabs.
Yeah, I kind of went the opposite. Do you want me to just do my winner?
I know.
No. I want you to run through the whole thing. I want to shame Nick some more. Tell us that
wait,
Nick was last.
I have a tie for last. It's 3 and 4.
Oh, there it is.
The universe
There it
is
is.
coming back around.
My number 2 is number 1.
All right.
the streak.
So my number 1 is number 2. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
So you how,
Wow.
Oh,
so Zach and Nick won and lost in the same night. They were dead. They were each dead last, and
yeah,
That's a
what
roller
lot.
coaster of a night. I'm exhausted.
God.
emotionally, this has been difficult
Yeah.
for all of us.
All right, so
Niner lost.
take us through some of your decision making here on for each of you on why you went one way and obviously one went the other way.
oh, I love Buffalo Bill. I had to just get
Me
a
too.
bunch of points out the gate. So
Chuck, are you more the Tooth Fairy fan?
Yeah, but he should be called by his correct name, Red Dragon.
Red Dragon.
Fairy is what the Tattler calls him, and he ends up setting that guy on fire. So
that is true.
Oh shit! Yeah.
We're talking to experts right now. We need to realize that.
I like Buffalo Bill. I thought as far as memorable serial killers, he gets overshadowed by Hannibal in that movie, and so while
100%.
Hannibal's last, like the second and third act of that movie is Hannibal completely. I think that was a hard one for me to go.
But you made the right decision, Chuck.
Oh no, I did. I know. Although, just for the record, the fact that you had a Mark Drupal movie,
Duplass.
a Mark Duplass movie, you almost got 0 points on that one. But we
almost sunk himself.
You guys,
Almost.
you
Picking
guys
for
got
himself.
to check that one out. It's a good one.
I don't know.
Yeah, we actually paid money to see Drinking Buddies, and
Drinking Buddies is not Duplass's best moment. He has other good stuff.
Yeah.
We do like the League.
We love the League.
Safety Not Guaranteed.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. Yeah,
The one with Jason
that one.
Segel is great. Jason Segel plays pickup basketball and doesn't have a job. It's called like
someone
Mark
Jeff
at
at
home or
home
something. Yeah, exactly. That's a good one.
Might try that.
He does not
Maybe.
like
It's a hard
Duplass.
one. Yeah, I
You'll,
know.
you'll hate it, Chuck.
So was Creep the only movie you guys had not seen on here?
There were two actually. I hadn't seen Talented Mr. Ripley.
Okay.
I'd seen chunks of it, but I had not watched it all the way through. And then what's the one you had?
I haven't seen Mr. Brooks.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Not a big
That's
fan
what
of the
he-
Misters.
So you hadn't seen
For-
2 of my movies.
4
Unfortunate.
years I've tried to get her to see that movie.
It's a good one.
I thought that was one of my favorites.
Yeah, Ripley was a roll the dice move. Mid draft wasn't on my list.
Well, I think-
However, I think it scored for us. It scored pretty high in the creepy factor,
Very creepy.
Oh.
Yeah,
and we both like the fact that he killed a lot of rich people. So
there we go. The Robin
You're
Hood,
all right
the
with that.
Robin Hood of serial killers.
It's actually the opposite of most serial killers who kill the kind of down and out. I would think.
So who were some of your top picks? Well, actually, Jess, we haven't heard so much. How did you kind of go through yours? Like, what were some of the ones that you saw as highlights? What were some of the lowlights?
Just quality is really what she stuck with.
Jess is trying to summon something, but I don't know what it is.
I couldn't tell if there was
Sorry,
a
we have
puppy or
our-
a child.
Yeah, we have our little puppy in here.
So
Want her to bark.
Jess, what were some of your favorites? What's like, if you're gonna go, what are your number one picks?
Definitely Buffalo Bill, as I said. Thomas Ripley.
Okay.
That's a great one. Norman Bates is really good.
Yeah.
The number 4 had a ton, John Doe and Patrick Bateman. Those are all really good ones as well.
Yeah, I thought that was gonna win it for Zach.
It did win it.
Gave him a half win.
A full W.
I mean,
It's just a V.
we can all agree that this is just null and void, right? I mean, this is clearly compromised in some way.
You guys broke the streak, and I love it. Thank you so much.
It's amazing.
Best part of having
That's
you on
my
the pod.
second to win.
Nick only has one other win, and it was also a tie.
Which equals 1 win, so I'm up.
Well, we appreciate you guys coming on.
Oh, wait, one thing I wanted to hear real quick is who were some of the in your draft? Who were some of the serial killers that should have been picked?
Yeah, what
that
do we
did
miss?
not get?
Oh yeah, is there anybody that didn't get picked?
Michael Myers. At least Michael Myers from the first two, the original Halloween movies, 1 and 2.
Yeah. 'Cause
Okay.
'cause Michael Myers is not supernatural.
My
right?
wife yelled at me from the bathroom today, Michael Myers, and I said, I'm not picking Supernatural. And she said, he's not.
Supernatural.
In 4, he once they kill him off in 4, and then he gets
Oh.
killed off every episode after that. I think he dies in the very last reel of the first movie. He gets shot, but you don't actually see him die. So it's not Jason. If you pick Jason from, the first and second Friday the 13th, that would be a good one too.
Well, you would pick the mom, right?
I like the mom, but that reveal at the very end, when I think of that movie, I still think of Jason. I know he's not the killer in the first one.
Spoiler alert.
If you haven't seen that movie now, it's 40 years old.
If you're listening to the draft about famous, most memorable movie serial killers, you're like, oh my God, he just spoiled Friday the 13th for me.
I'm on episode 13 of that movie. I didn't see it. Well, so it's awesome that you guys came on, and we'd love to have you on again at some point if you're willing. And we definitely want to try to promote you and make sure that all of our Cali friends that are true crimers make sure they tune in. So we're going to send them your way.
What's up next for Cali True Crime?
We have an episode coming out tomorrow. Well, this is being recorded on Sunday, so I'm not 100% sure.
This will hit Tuesday. So what's your episode
yesterday.
that's available? Yep.
yeah, yesterday.
We have an episode on a female serial killer named Dana Sue Gray from the Riverside area. She killed elderly women, we think, because she liked to.
Was she a caregiver or a nurse or something?
She was a nurse, but she wasn't their caregiver. She stole money from some of them and used it to go to lunch and stuff like that. But in her own words, she during one of the attacks, she was just doing it because she wanted to. So and her method, it's all very interesting, actually, and really different than other female serial killers. So.
Wow.
To quote one of my favorite movies, The Strangers, why are you doing this? And the killer says, because you were home. Like, you don't need a reason, right?
Yeah.
No one needs a reason why to kill you.
I got an honorable mention in our house.
And based on real murders, right?
Based on, the sequel is based on the Ketty case, which we covered, and that was actually our first case that we ever recorded.
Oh, cool.
Oh, wow.
I love these connections. Hey,
I know.
Can you guys throw out social media handles, websites, where we can find you guys? Is it Cali True Crime, or where do we find you?
On Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, it's at Cali True Crime, and our website is Cali. What is it?
California True Crime. You work on the website on a daily basis. Thanks, sweetie.
Version of.
This is why we're not getting HelloFresh money.
That would be good, though. Just like talking about grisly murders and then like, hey, this podcast is brought to you by HelloFresh. Let's talk about cooking our own meals at home. Little Hannibal Lecter tie-in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for coming on. We really appreciate it. And hopefully we're going to drive some traffic to you guys, and you guys are going to drive a fucking interstate to our podcast.
We will be posting our drafts for this episode on our social media too, as well as we've been texting Sean all evening, and he's got his picks already and some things to say about your guys' picks.
So he's the one that picked me as the winner. I knew one of you did.
Yeah.
So tell Sean, no disrespect.
Actually,
I'm sorry. I did not know.
Who did Sean pick? Wait. Who did Sean pick?
Oh, wait. Actually, no, he did. He did. And actually, I do think he picked Nate.
Oh, my God.
I knew it was there.
Technically, he wasn't here, so...
Yeah, what does this guy know?
Not count for a W whatsoever.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys so much for coming on.
Thank you guys very much for having us.
See you guys. Thanks.
Oh, that was awesome. All right. So what do we got next on the docket, guys? What are we going to send our flock out to watch?
So it is a Nate pick, and I am picking one of my absolute all-time favorites, definitely top 10 movies, maybe even top 5, Almost Famous.
Oh, shit,
yes. Boy.
We're doing it. We're doing Almost Famous, and the draft category is...
So wait.
Almost Famous starring Jason Lee. I got to start. I got it
starring
right.
Billy Crudup.
Fully support my Jason Lee.
Mallrats own
man crush.
Jason Lee.
Okay.
So wait. Let's give a tiny bit of background. So the very first pod that we ever did, correct?
I believe so. Did I pick the first one? It was the first one we did?
The only
I think
reason
we agreed on. I think we kind of said, "What do we want to do?" And we collectively were.
So the first one we recorded, this was back in the Zoom days. We were doing it Zoom, via Zoom, pandemic, trying
completely
this
experimental,
and we did Almost Famous.
And then they sent me the link to watch it live. And I was watching for a little bit, and then I drove over to where they were recording and pulled out a gun and said, "Hey, I'm going to be a part of this podcast." And they're like, "Okay, Brad. Okay. Sorry, man." was like, yeah, I'm in now.
We're coming. We liked it so much that we're coming back around. And the draft category we also did, although funny enough, I think for a different movie.
Yes.
We did Sing Street as one of our in the vault episodes, and we did this draft category. We're going to redo it from scratch, and it is the most memorable fictional music acts in movies. So music acts, it can be a single performer. It can be
like Les Mis, like a musical act.
I mean,
Newsies.
If you wanted to lose the draft, you could do that. Yes.
Yeah, yes. That would be
I'm trying to open the door. For Zach and Nate to go way left and Brad.
Last place?
I'm trying to throw stuff in your guys' brains.
He's putting stuff in. Yeah, I see what he's doing.
I think the original category was best movie band, but then we expanded it to
musical act.
Yeah,
but it has to be it has to be a fictional act, I believe.
A lot of musical acts in Muppets.
La Bamba does not work.
So that's it. And we're going to have a special guest on next week.
Yes,
plural.
We are going to have multiple guests.
Special guests. Yes.
Guest
So for part one, we're going to have Lacey Johnson of Rewatchable's Facebook group fame jump on with us and give us her perspective on Almost Famous. We're going to chat a little about the movie, and then there was a little bit of a little dust up on the old Rewatchable's Facebook page. She's a super popular poster, very polarizing, super interesting takes on movies and takes on feminist perspectives on movies. And so she's going to come on, and we're going to beat her up a little and let her beat us up a little and talk about Almost Famous. It's going to be great.
If we're being accurate, we'd say Lacey Johnson, formerly of
Controversy.
So she's going to be on, and then in part two for the memorable movie acts, we're going to have on our very own hometown Flying Blind, two of the Flying Blind folks.
How about three of the Flying Blind folks?
Oh, three of the Flying Blind folks. Yeah, okay. So
should be.
So we're going to have them on to judge our draft, which I assume I will win, but you just never know. All right, and that's it. Go watch Almost Famous.
Thanks, guys.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
California has the largest population in the United States and the site of some of the most famous true crime cases in history. But there's more than meets the eye to the crime in California. Join Sean, Jessica, and Charles on the California True Crime Podcast as they cover crime both infamous and overlooked from around our state, while looking at the deeper history that goes beyond beaches and movie stars.